It's funny how life works out sometimes. If you would have asked me 4 years ago what I'd be doing right now, I can almost guarantee I wouldn't have mentioned YouTube, social media, or fashion. That's because 4 years ago, I was working out daily as a Division I basketball player, attempting to get into the rotation. Fast forward to now, and you know me as Drew What It Do, the New Balance obsessed, positivity, soothing voice, John's enthusiast, fashion, social media guy. And this video is another milestone in this unplanned journey of life and social media. Today, we're in Toronto.
No, look over here and smile.
Now you might be a bit confused because the title of this video says pickups. And this isn't your traditional YouTube fashion pickups video. This is how I do it here on the channel. And if you want the full experience, keep watching. And if you're an impatient little side duck, there are chapters in this video that will direct you exactly to the pickups portion of the video. Alright, where was I? The real reason I've come to the wonderful city of Toronto is to learn about one brand in particular, Libero. And if you're a frequent of the channel, then you know that I think Libero is one of the most criminally underrated brands on the planet right now. They have consistently put out some of my favorite pieces over the last year and a half. And the founder, Adam, agreed to let us shadow him for the day. It's the man of the hour.
Ready to go for a ride?
Let's go, baby.
To the wayside.
Thanks.
That's it.
So like, what is this area of Toronto that we're in right now?
This is like the downtown core. So
core.
where you guys were staying is very, very downtown. Right now we're like the hospital section going into like the government buildings and stuff like that. Where you were is like the Times Square of Toronto. Right now we're driving to our seamstress house.
Oh, sweet.
Miguelina.
Cool.
As you know, she like cut and sews everything by hand.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's one of the coolest things I feel like about Libero. Not a lot of brands can say that things are done by hand. It's slow but beautiful, right?
Yeah, and like it came out of nowhere. It's when we started it 4 years ago. We were just like, we found one person to make something, we found another person to make something, and then after that first like 6 months, my mom was like, hey, why don't you go talk to Miguelina? I was like, okay, who is this? Like, what do you mean go talk to this person? So she's been in the family for 50 years. She's not like blood, but
she's family.
Being Italian, everybody tends to be blood and be family at one point. So she made like a bunch of people in her family's wedding dresses and gowns and stuff like that. So she's like, go see her. She can probably cook some stuff up for you.
That's amazing.
So I went, and I mean, the rest is history, right?
One of the biggest things I took away from spending time with Adam was his intentionality. I personally love these type of conversations and interactions. After visiting Michelina, we grabbed some ramen, which was my first time and was delicious. Then proceeded to head to Adam's home to look at some Libero pieces in person.
Like rude. How's your Spanish?
Chaos. I have no idea.
Sorry.
My Spanish is okay.
You're okay.
I'm all yours, buddy.
Man, we've had a wonderful day talking, conversing, hanging out, and we came in yesterday, and it's been a lot of fun being in your presence.
Thank you.
Hanging out with you.
Feel the same?
You're literally one of the greatest dudes I've come across from a feel standpoint. You're a homie.
For sure.
I wanted to ask you, man, what is Libero?
It's such an interesting question to kind of answer and articulate. I really don't define Libero by anything. It's just an outlet for us and me to be creative. It's my definition of clothing. It's what I feel clothing can be and how far it can be or how far it can go. With telling stories and being personable. Libero, what it is, It's everything people want it to be. So it could be your safe haven. It could be something to remind you of old European memories or new, like, modern versions of those. So like I said, for me, it's whatever people want to take of it, but it's a very open book.
When I first discovered you a little over a year and a half ago, instant connection with the brand. Now even getting a chance to talk to you, seeing the ethos of Toronto a bit more for myself, seeing the way the city is, the diversity like you mentioned, I cannot wait for what the next 4 years of Libero has to offer. So last question, and this is more like a almost selfish kind of question. Do you love what you do?
I do. I really, really do. And there's like no hesitation. There's no second thought. Libero is a storytelling device. And I love that we get to do that and tell stories of my past and tell stories of what I hope is the future of Libero. So I love it immensely. And I hope that people can see that from the amount of detail, like what you guys saw last night, and the amount of attention that Jeannie and Lanny and the whole team puts together, and Rocco and Avery, right? So I don't even think you need to ask me if I love it. I think that you can just see that we really, really do. And 4 years, I know there will be. So as long as we have people like you and everybody else that's kind of on our side and helping us bring our story to life, I don't see why there won't be.
When I played basketball, our coaches would constantly remind us during practice to empty the tank. And it's a simple metaphor for get the most you can out of life. And I think that's what Adam and the brand Libero are attempting to do with storytelling, with craftsmanship, with love and devotion to fashion. Adam is one of the most classy individuals I've ever met. And I want to thank him from the bottom of my heart for having us out, for allowing us to see the behind the scenes of Libero, and for showing us the city of Toronto. I consider you to be a true friend of mine, Adam, and I hope you continue to push the boundary for what you believe is possible for Libero, and in the process, show others what is possible for themselves. If you skipped to this point in the video, welcome. And if you watched the entirety, here's a fist bump for the one time. Bop! I appreciate you so much for watching the entire video. 2 quick things. Some of these items I've been holding on to for 6 months or more. And if you've noticed, I've laid off a lot of the pickups videos for this year as to not promote extreme consumerism. As a disclaimer, this level of product and consumption is not normal. And if I were sitting behind the screen instead of behind the camera, in no way would I be acquiring this much product at one time. So for you, understand that. No, you don't need this much clothing. Yes, this is my passion and my job. If you're older, younger, whatever age you are, understand that you never need to consume to this level to feel like you care about fashion. And 2, if I put you on to any brands or products that you hadn't previously heard about, let me know down in the comments. I love being able to facilitate different brands, different designers, and new ideas to my audience. Starting off, we have a piece that I fell in love with the moment it was announced. This is the Story MFG Pumpkin King knitted cardigan. In all honesty, this is my first cardigan. And what better way to start my collection than with one of my, if not my favorite brand right now, Story MFG. And the reason I love Story MFG and this cardigan is their dedication to sustainability. For example, this piece is made up of 100% organic cotton with a natural dyeing process, and then is crocheted by hand to give it that human element and human touch, and also slows down the process of manufacturing so that you aren't mass producing a lot of these garments, creating more waste and creating more hazard for the environment. This is a size large for reference. I'm 6'4", 190 pounds, and it fits great. The only downside about this piece is the price point, but one of the things that you can do if you feel like, oh man, Story MFG is so expensive, I can never afford it, wait till the end of the season. Typically, brands like Story MFG will mark down products at the end of the season in preparation for the next season, so you can potentially grab something for a huge discount as opposed to paying full retail price like your boy did. If you know me, then you know I love loafers. And recently, GH Bass has been my muse when it comes to loafs. To loafers? Certified loafer boy. And these right here are the GH Bass Weejun Larson Suede lugs. For some reason, I just lean towards lug soles as opposed to a classic loafer outsole, as they tend to offer more stability and from an aesthetic point of view, have a bit of a modern 90s retro look to them that I just really enjoy. Kind of give off the vibes of like the 90s or something like that. These are just beautiful. I wore them a ton while I was in Toronto. And if you're looking for a reliable narrow foot loafer, I think GH Bass is an awesome starting point for those who don't want to pay exorbitant prices, but also want to get a quality product. For me, I go true to size. This is a size 11. I think these take the crown as my favorite loafers in my collection, and they're just going to look so beautiful in the fall time, or the autumn if that's the type of English that you speak. Staying with footwear, we have another pair of Birkenstock Bostons. I know I have like 3 other Birks, but I've come to realize when you have an addiction, when you have an obsession, sometimes you just have to lean into it. You don't want to fight it. You don't want to try to fight it. You don't want to try to, go to therapy. Just lean into it and everything will work itself out eventually. So while we were in Toronto, we were recommended by Nolan to check out a shop called Lost and Found. And this was a fantastic shop, and what they carried were some really awesome brands. I talk about it in a recent TikTok reel video that I made. And when I saw this pair of Birks in the store, it was love at first sight. In fact, I had been looking for this Mocha colorway before I wanted to make my video about Birks and when I was in the market for Birks, but I just couldn't find them, and so I settled on another pair. But now that I have these in hand, woo-wee, I love these. I absolutely love them. The suede on them is buttery. They do collapse a little bit, so I don't know if I'm gonna get annoyed by that, but what you get with Birkenstock is a classic looking, incredibly comfortable, and incredibly versatile item of footwear that, yeah, you just can't go wrong with Birks right now. So last week, a brand new Arc'teryx opened up in Boulder, Colorado. And your boy was told to come out and check it out by the team members of the shop. And when Arc'teryx calls, you answer. The storefront was amazing. I also made another short form video documenting my experience, and while I was there, I picked up the Atom LT hoodie in yellow. And I've been eyeing this Atom hoodie for a long time. It's perfect for the colder days in Colorado when it's a bit snowy or rainy. It's great as a layering piece or as its own piece to be styled in a lot of different ways. Arc'teryx, whether you love it or hate it, is designing for both function and aesthetics. And I think that this really hits the nail on the head when it comes to aesthetics. The yellow has a nice pop of color, and I've been enjoying yellow more and more over the years. I know Kyron loves yellow as well, so shout out to him, but yellow's a dope color. And I love getting Arc'teryx pieces in hand because there's always details that you just don't see on the online images that just are so obvious and present themselves so clearly in person. Things like hidden pocket structures, the weight of the garment and fabric, and just the overall construction and feel and fit of the piece. Another one of the cooler things about the new Arc'teryx store opening up were these Boulder exclusive patches that the storefront received for its grand opening. From my understanding, each new location gets its very own patch, and it's kind of cool to have a piece of Arc'teryx history, which is this unique patch for Boulder, Colorado, and Colorado in general. Another one of my favorite brands is Collegium, and they came out with their rendition of a lace button-up shirt. Every version of the shirt that I've seen is fire, and this is no exception. When you take a closer look, you see the details of the construction of the garment. And I just love all the potential that I have in my head when it comes to playing with styling with this. Is that right? Is that good English? Playing with styling with this? This piece can bring so much texture to an outfit, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed by Nick and the Collegium team to shift and be able to still create products outside of their quote-unquote main lane of footwear at such a high level. This is just a rock solid piece. Do people say that anymore? Rock solid? This is a rock solid piece. Love the Collegium fam. I'll see you soon. This is a great piece. Okay, These next 3 items are from a Danish brand called Nationality. These next 3 pieces are fire. Starting off, we have this overshirt, which is just beautiful. I love these nude muted tones on this shirt jacket. So this is actually undyed virgin wool, which is amazing. That is actually how it gets the color that it has. Plus, something that I just loved were the fact that the button structures and the buttons were actually vegan and made out of compostable materials. Pieces like this scream grown man, classy, kind of just put together. And it's really funny to me to look at this piece in comparison to the Story MFG cardigan and think of myself as someone who enjoys both sides of the spectrum when it comes to my personal styling, depending on the mood and feel I want to give off. Let's just say when I make it to Denmark, this is going to be a brand I really am going to want to visit. Next, from Nationality, we have the wool crewneck. Color on this is perfect and beautiful for the fall, or beautiful and perfect for the fall, whichever way you like it. I just imagine myself in this crewneck at home, fireplace going, maybe some hot chocolate or some tea, Pixar movie with Lauren, just having a cozy evening. That's exactly what this crewneck screams to me. Ultimate cozy vibes. Excitement really isn't the word when it comes to this crewneck. Maybe elation, or I don't know, just pure joy. So tough, so tough. Last, we have the multi-green sweater. This item kind of reminds me of a Persian rug of some sort. Hopefully that makes sense. Or something my babushka would knit back in 1983 or something, I don't know. Either way, this piece completes the holy trinity of Nationality for this pickups video, and I'm incredibly excited, like I mentioned. I really lean into the slightly obscure basics. For me, when it comes to my personal style, I love tweaking basic items or adding a bit of spice to them to about a degree of 10 to 15%. I just think it adds just that extra bit of personal touch to a piece. I don't know if it's really true, but that's what I think. Following up Nationality, we have some items from one of my homies, Devonte Ivory. His brand is Boy Blondie, and in the time I've known him, he's improved collection over collection. These are probably the best items he's put out to date. Starting off, we have this vest that is just absolutely beautiful when it comes to the color palette. I love the browns, the tans, the beiges, especially for the fall time. It's gonna pair nicely with the loafers and a lot of the other items that I've showcased in this video already. I don't really have any vests like this. I believe this is a faux mohair vest, and so it's going to be a lot of fun styling this along with some of the other items that Devonte's put out. Next piece from Boy Blondie is this piece cardigan, and this is the second cardigan in my collection. Really great cardigan. It pays homage to Devonte's heritage as a Jamaican. You have Bob Marley and the Wailers on the back, and once again, this yellow is like a much more even like vintagey yellow, so I'm really excited to kind of pair this with browns and beiges and tans and things of that nature. It's going to be a good fall with this piece. The last item that I've been holding on to for months now. I've been waiting to show this item off from Boy Blondie. It is this kind of Rastafarian, Jamaican-esque beanie. And I love this beanie, bro. You really did a good job. I've held off on wearing this for months, literally. And at this point, this hat has put down a deposit for rent on top of my head for the fall-winter season. So tough. I love this beanie. Shout out to Devonte Ivory, and shout out to the products that he's making. Following that, there's actually a pair of sneakers that I want to bring up before I forget that I've been holding on to for the past 2-ish months. I've been doing more homework on Asics, and I picked up the Andersson Bell Asics Protoblasts. I think these are immensely cool, and as a shoe enthusiast, as a sneaker and footwear guy at heart, these are tough. What initially drew me to these were the off-white, kind of very futuristic, DIY, Virgil-esque lacing system. I went true to size and I like the fit. I'm a true size 11, but one of the things that I've noticed about Asics in comparison to something like New Balance is that their shoes feel incredibly light, which is interesting. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are better or worse. It's just something that I've noticed. I think up until about a couple of weeks ago with the Jown collaboration, Asics was still very slept on. And you had dudes like Fashion Lover 4 singing their praises, and I thought it would be right for me to just give it my due diligence. This is definitely not the first time I've ever owned a pair of Asics. I've owned some back in the day, and I've had the Onitsuka Tigers for a while now, so I'm pleased with this purchase and I'm excited to wear these. These are going to be a bit more of an eccentric shoe in my collection, but I'm here for it. Owen Hyatt's brand Somar is another brand that is very, very exciting. A few months ago, I picked up the Play-Doh tote, which is a massive tote bag, and in my opinion, like Birkenstocks, when you have an obsession, just lean into it. And I think with tote bags, you can never have too many of them, whether it be for traveling, for markets, for picnics, for life, for groceries, whatever. You can never have enough bags to carry things. The final accessory of this pickups video is this hat by Malcolm Piscotti. He's actually the employee that implored that I should actually come to the Arc'teryx grand opening, and he gifted me one of these hats that he made himself. It just says Goretex on it, which I think is a dope concept. It goes perfectly with, you know, the fact that I love hats that just have messages and symbolisms that make people just kind of look at them and think, because obviously this is a very simple hat and it doesn't have Goretex on it, but it's just kind of fire. I think everyone recognizes Goretex if you're in that kind of space, and this is a cool item that I think I'm going to cherish for a long time here. All right, the final items I want to show you in this pickups video are mangas. If you don't know, I absolutely love manga and anime and media and video games and things like that. And sometimes I think it's just fun to be able to show an aspect of myself that isn't just fashion, as I'm not just a one-dimensional person. So first, I picked up JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This is a series that I've known about for quite some time now. I've watched the show up until about the third saga, but I never read the manga. And for whatever reason, I stopped watching the show. So for me, I'm a bit more diligent when it comes to reading than when it comes to watching. And so if I read it all, I know I'll watch it all, because I'm investing my money and my time more heavily into the art and into the creativity, into the storytelling. So if I read it, I'll watch it. I know a lot of people are excited for me to read this because they want my opinion on the fashion in the series, and maybe in the future, once I complete reading it, I will add some notes of JoJo's fashion or fashion from the story in my future videos. Let me know what items stood out to you in this video. If you enjoyed the video or if you have any other questions, also let me know that down in the comment section. As always, I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity in 2022. So that means I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity to you wherever you are in the world. Have a wonderful rest of your day. A bientôt. Peace. Yo, what is good, post vid man? Hopefully you guys are having a good day today. I feel like this is video 199. It could be video 200 or 199, but that is a lot of videos. So that's a lot of fist bumps, you feel me? Like if I do 2 fist bumps, bop, every single time, that's a lot of fist bumps, bop. I appreciate you guys for staying to the end of the video. These videos are videos that I've made less of over the course of this year compared to last year. And I think it's primarily because, like I said in the beginning, I don't want to promote this like incredible or insane level of consumerism. I want my videos and my creativity to come from a place of giving information rather than showcasing product and showcasing what I have. I don't want to pretend like I'm bragging or anything like that. This is very nice for a lot of these brands. They help me acquire some of these things, which is very, very nice. But for you, post vivid, I want you to know if I ever come off, you know, a bit braggadocious or come incorrect, let me know down in the comments. Correct your boy, help your boy out, keep him on the fast track to being a humble, good little side duck. Oh man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you next week. Peace.